Welcome, everybody. For those of you new, my name is Mark Andrew Fry, and this is By Divine Design. So welcome to this week's free Wednesday transmission on Zoom. Happens every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. You're all welcome to join. If you're catching this later on YouTube, you can find more information on how to join in the video description. So normally, we spend a lot of time clearing energies of the past. So memories, blockages from traumas of the past lives, ancestral influences from the past, ways of thinking, your conditioning, your beliefs that you've brought from the past. So we normally put a lot of focus on clearing all those stuck energies that come from the past. Today's transmission is going to be focused more primarily on clearing us from future projections. All the ways we project, well, really both our fear and our hopes into the future, and the ways that can trip us up as well. Even when they're positive intentions, it can weigh you down. It can make you denser, heavier, less flowing. So we're going to clear a lot of that today. And basically all of it is to bring you more and more into the now. So that transmission is going to start in about 10 minutes or so. We're going to begin today with some announcements. So I have some new, let's see where to start. So I've added 6 new healing group sessions. The general theme is breakthroughs, which the guide says the general theme of this whole year is this is a year of breakthroughs, of just having profound, tangible breakthroughs. And so the healing groups are going to focus on different areas, like the first one's abundance, breakthroughs in relationships, in physical health, in mental health, in getting things done, and in spiritual awakening and realization. So these are going to happen they're going to happen every 2 weeks. And you can sign up to them individually, or you can buy the package deal where you get tickets to all of them, plus you get 3 months of the proactive connection to my transmission of divine love consciousness, and 3 months of access to all the videos in the members video vault. So you'll get those along with the healing sessions themselves. Also, what we're going to start doing is, like, probably about 3 days before the session, you'll receive an email prompting you to reply and include any personal focus that you would like to have worked on as part of the group healing session. So it's going to be a way that it's like, the first session is breakthroughs in abundance. So generally, that's going to be the overall topic area. But depending on who actually shows up, of course, we're going to be reading those energies, what you need individually. And this is a way for you to add your own conscious focus to that. So you'll be able to say, whatever it is, your personal focus is around, in that case, abundance. And actually, as soon as you write those down, the guides start working on those. And then I'll receive it, and the guides will incorporate it in whatever way is in your highest good. So it like those particular focuses may or may not get called out energetically verbally during a session, but you can know for sure they will be handled energetically during the session. And they won't be called out in any way that would, personally identify you. They would just be called out possibly as part of the group healing. So those are online now. And let's see. So I also changed the one-to-one session package deal. It's now 5 sessions, plus you get the proactive connection for 3 months, and you get the members vault again for 3 months. And this is now the only way for someone to do one-on-ones with me. So you can't sign up for just one-on-one anymore. You have to buy a package, or those of you who already have packages, you can, of course, keep using what's left in your package. But going forward, the guides just want to start working with people, who are committed to at least 5 sessions, rather than somebody coming in doing 1 session, then maybe not doing another session for 3, 4, 5 months. They want somebody who, so this package is also limited to 3 months. So somebody who will want to do 5 sessions within 3 months. And the other shift that's part of this is the guides say the work in the healing groups is far more powerful, even for your individual issues. The group context is just a much more powerful and profound way to do this work. And so we're slowly but surely moving away from one-on-one sessions. This isn't going to happen anytime soon, but the next step for one-on-one sessions is actually at some point, they're only going to be available to those who have done the Loving Bliss of Being course. Because at that point, whenever that change actually happens, the guides just want to keep their, my one-to-one sessions and the way they focus energy in the one-to-one sessions will be those advanced enough. Once you've completed the Loving Bliss of Being course, your system's just open to a whole new level of being. And at some point, that is the only kind of person that the guides want me to work with one-on-one. Because there's certain individual activations that are not done as easily in a group setting. That, as you get closer and closer to full God realization, there are certain activations that are more specific to the person. And so eventually that's going to be the only person that will be able to do one-on-ones with me anymore. But the guides say that the way that we're setting up the group healing sessions, it's just a more powerful container in general than a one-on-ones. So that's why we're moving towards that. We're going to be doing regular group healing sessions. And and so for now, a 5-pack is the minimum you can purchase for one-on-one sessions. Let me see if there was any other announcements. I think that's all of them. Okay, let's go ahead and shift into today's transmission. Yeah, let's begin. This is a transmission of divine love consciousness. It's always for your highest good and the highest good of all. As we open to the transmission, you're invited to simply relax, open, receive. Notice what you notice along the way. Allow the transmission to meditate you. And as the transmission starts to do what it's doing, I do my best to put that into words, at least some of that into words, to help you track what's happening. But there's always far more happening than what is put into words. And I use my hands to tune into the energies, to help move the energies, to assist the guides that are here, the angels, the beings of light and love. As we enter into the oneness, I allow my body to be used to feel into the collective whole that includes each of you individually, your energy systems, what's most ready to be cleared, what's most ready to awaken within you. Ultimately helping you to awaken to full God realization while here in a human body. So whether it's called out or not, we always begin by just a cleansing of your overall energy field, helping to clear away the surface noise in your system. These could be thoughts and feelings from the last couple of days that are still stuck in your system. And as we clear these energies, you may find yourself relaxing more deeply, feeling a little more calm, the mind quieting. And now the heart opening. We're pulling you into loving bliss of being. This state of consciousness where love just naturally awakens and radiates and flows throughout your energy system. This loving bliss of being continues to clear any surface noise that still remains. As it also helps your whole system to open and expand and fill with more light and love. Would you be willing to let go of anything that resists this level of light and love and bliss? Divine love consciousness has infinite qualities of light and love contained within it. And right now, your infinite divine being is helping you to open to and receive the divine quality that allows you to simply be here now. So it's being pulled down all the way through your central energy column. So it can become a reference point for you, for your energy system, that helps you begin to have your own direct experience of what it is to simply be here now. To at least momentarily let go of the past and let go of the future. Excellent. Yeah. You might notice the bliss, the lightness, the ease that's opening in you as you come more and more into the now. And release all connections to the past and the future, at least for now. Yeah, your system really likes that. That's conditioning you to allow this more and more. Because as you notice it feels good, you're drawn to come back, to go deeper. Yeah, what would it be like to let go even more completely? The past, the future. as your infinite divine self amplifies that quality within you. Yeah, you just might notice parts of you that are still attached to the past, to the future. Okay, we're shifting now to put more emphasis on the future attachments. Making some energetic changes first to help expose all the ways you're still attached via expectations, fear-based projections, hopeful projections. Yeah, all the ways you use your imagination to project into the future. Would you be willing to allow yourself to notice that it's only the ego, the fear-based ego, that does this? It's your small self that's been doing this and is doing it now. It's not who and what you are doing this. Clear, clear, clear. So, yeah, some of these attachments are in the third chakra. We're clearing those. The ones we have access to right now that basically are you're trying to use your will to make certain things happen in the future, or to make sure certain things don't happen in the future. Yeah, and that pulls you out of balance. So we're highlighting that, helping your system to be more conscious of the fact that anytime you have a future projection activated within your system, consciously or unconsciously, it pulls you out of balance, and that's uncomfortable. Would you be willing to allow that discomfort to be an alarm clock that wakes you up to what you're doing, allows you to reevaluate consciously or unconsciously? Your system, as your system gets this reevaluation can happen unconsciously. It's just part of what your system is learning to do right now. Okay, then there's also at the heart level, yeah, ways you move towards a future, protection. Yeah, it's basically a defense mechanism. A way that you try to keep yourself from feeling hurt. So again, we're just bringing more light, more awareness in and through this functioning, the way your system's been functioning, trying to protect yourself from a future of hurt by putting this defense mechanism around your heart, trying to keep imagined futures from ever happening. Would you be willing to explore for yourself whether that actually works, whether that's actually helpful, whether that's actually doing what you think it's doing, or is it creating more and more experiences of that which you fear? Yeah, see right there. Clear, 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 clear. Yeah. Would you be willing to allow the light and love that's present to dissolve that mechanism completely? So you can't project into the future that way anymore. You can't project your fears into imagined futures anymore. So the guides are highlighting this does not rule out needing to plan for the future when that's what's here now. You know you are going to take a trip, and so you're working on buying a ticket for an airplane ticket for that trip and hotel reservations. So you do have to project into the future, but we're just showing you how that's like a neutral use of your imagination. Like that's using your imagination to imagine the future in a very neutral way, like simply as a tool that you're using in the now while based and centered in the now. In a neutral way that doesn't load you down, that doesn't set you up for negative effects. So that's always available to you. This is not dismantling that type of function. What we're dismantling is the fear-based mechanism that's projecting that into the future, that fear. Okay, we're just watching what that's doing in your energy systems. Okay, there's a distinction here they want to make. We're doing it energetically first in this case, before putting any words on it. Yeah, this involves a very large download of information. It's just in this particular case, it's best to just receive this in silence. Your energy system is receiving this higher information as light, as love. So most of that download is complete, has been received. We're just helping it to integrate with the rest of your system. Yeah, there's a real readiness in all of you to receive this. And your system's already experiencing like the freedom of this, the lightness this allows. Okay, your infinite divine self is once again increasing the energy that allows you to be even more fully here now. Okay, good. Much nicer flow throughout your system. Even more expansion and flow. Okay, now we're going to give you an opportunity to personalize it a little. So allow yourself to notice something you may have been fearing in the future. And we're saying may have been because it might already be gone, but still, let yourself notice something you may have been fearing in the future. Yeah, and then just notice what happens as you acknowledge that and then just let it go. and allow yourself to notice the higher truth that is revealed when you let it go. Any fear of the future is a lie, is based on a lie, is a projection of a lie, something that is not true. And it's not true on several levels. So it's not true because that future doesn't actually exist and will never exist. Any number of infinite things can happen between now and that imagined future. And most likely, any number of things will happen that will change whatever you projected. The ego, the mind, can only project based on its past experience. So you're taking the past and imagining that's going to be your future. Wrong. Just wrong. Doesn't work that way. Never works that way. So you're scaring yourself by allowing yourself to do that. You're using your past as if it's a real reference point, projecting that into the future as if you can really do that, and then you're feeling upset because we respond to what we imagine. We respond to what we're thinking. So with that information, would you be willing to allow yourself more deeply, more completely than ever, to let go of this mechanism that takes the past and projects it into the future? At least for a few moments. Give yourself a break. Allow yourself to try this out. You can always go back to projecting the future based on fear if you decide that's really your highest good. And all that brought up in your system, clear, 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 clear. Yeah, that brought up another layer of attachments. It's mostly based on your conditioning because, like, you're taught this from a very young age because those that were raising you, all those around you, were conditioned this way as well. It's just part of the cultural conditioning to project your fears into the future based on quote unquote evidence from the past. Yeah, so let's take it out to that level for a moment. Would you be willing to allow your infinite divine self to work through you and work through the exponential power of this group to send this love, light, and truth that helps dissolve this mechanism for the collective, for each and every culture? There's several groups of angels who have assembled to aid in this process. Whenever a group dynamic turns towards service to the greater whole, it always immediately attracts the attentions of certain groups of angels. And that's their purpose, is to help that kind of group service for the greater whole. Which of course helps it to heal more quickly within your system as well. Okay, good. We're going to bring the focus back to your heart, your heart's desires. Yeah, let's flip it for a bit here and work with your higher desires. Like the good things you would like to experience eventually in your future. This could be, if you have cancer or you're sick in some way, or even as simple as like you have a headache right now, or you broke an arm, or you're having financial difficulties or relationship friction, and you're thinking, I want to be healed of this. I want to be free of this. I want this to be smoother, more loving. And you're projecting that into the future, imagining essentially, I'll be happier then, once this is healed, once this is handled, once this is taken care of. And that's what makes it an attachment. That's what makes it fear-based and ego-based. Even though it feels like it's okay, we're going to add to the example, I want to be God realized. Like the height of all high vibrational desires, full God realization. So even there, if you're projecting that as something out there in the future in such a way that you're implying, I can only be happy then and not now, then it's ego-based, it's fear-based, and it will only keep creating a negative reality, a negative experience, a lacking of God realization, a lacking of healing, a lacking of financial flow, etc., etc. Because as long as you imply that your goodness, your happiness, your freedom is out there somewhere in the future and not here now, yeah, it makes you heavy. It makes you dense. It makes your system less flowing. So it feels counterintuitive, perhaps, in some ways, but we're We're showing it directly to your energy system, to the part of you that can receive these finer distinctions, this greater realization of truth, of what truly is your highest good, what truly serves you. Okay, and then let's see what you're able to open to now. Would you be willing to play with letting go of any and all future desires, future projections, even the high vibrational ones, and allow yourself to just feel what that's like, to be free of that, even just for a few moments? Even the unconscious desires, the unconscious projections into the future, would you be willing to play with letting those go, even for a few moments, to have your own direct experience of true freedom now? Would you be willing to allow yourself to come into a deeper experience of what it's like to simply love what is, what is already here now? And it's good for you to know this is the only way to actually realize the future you most desire. To completely let go of it, to completely be okay with whether it shows up or not, to be here now without any projections on the future or any attachments to the past or the future. Happiness only happens now. Happiness can only be experienced now. So, in many transmissions, we play with the idea of the future God realized self. You in the future, when you realize full God realization. So, we're showing you how this is different. We've mentioned many times that all words and concepts are ultimately lies. You can never describe the truth completely. All words, all descriptions fall short, but they do have the ability to point in the right direction. So when we use the term future God realized self, from one point of view, it is in the future. But from another point of view, it's present with you here now. Especially since when you become God realized, you transcend time completely. You have access to move in and out of time freely. So you can be present in each and every now. And there's many, many, many different experiences of time, ways of experiencing time, ways of conceiving of time. And we don't have time to go into that today. But here now, your God realized self is present here now. Revealing to you even more deeply, even more clearly, what it actually means to be here now, to love what is, to see it all as perfect right now, and thus open the door to true happiness now. Now, it's good for you to know that human emotions and divine qualities are quite different. Human emotions come and go, they have opposites, happy, sad, etc., etc. Divine qualities simply are. They're just steady states. And the happiness we're referring to here is divine happiness. It's not the human happiness that rises and falls, comes and goes. It's the divine happiness you actually already are. It's part of your nature. You can never not be happy. As an infinite divine being, you simply are happiness. As a human being, you don't always have access to that as an experience. But the whole point of all these transmissions is to clear and open that access. So more and more you can realize divine love, divine happiness, divine bliss. The divine nowness. Yeah. Now, let's just take a moment to personalize that one more time. Allow yourself to become aware of something you've been wanting in the future, something you've been wanting to happen in the future. And now notice, would you be willing to allow yourself to have it now? As pure energy, as a tangible experience you can have now. Would you be willing to let go of all projections, projecting that into the future? Allow yourself to feel and know what it's like to have it now, right now. And anything that's bringing up in your system, just let it go. Clear, 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 clear. And even more so now, would you be willing to allow yourself to experience having that now? So it's good for you to know that as you experience having it now, you become magnetic to it showing up in your life, if and when it does. But you also don't care anymore whether it actually shows up in your life, because you're already experiencing it now. You have no attachment to whether it shows up or doesn't show up. And that might be called God realization. So, as we start to bring this session to a conclusion, you might bring more awareness to your physical body, noticing who you are now, and your physical location, where you are now, and allow these energies to feed down into the earth and out to all of humanity through the earth, which helps to ground it, to ground you, to ground it more here in this reality. We thank you all for your participation, for your love, your courage, your willingness to explore, to be radiant light, love, and truth here, now. Infinite blessings. So, welcome back, everyone. We're going to open it to questions and answers, sharing your experience. Take some time to chat. And Daniel, I see you have your hand up, so go ahead.
Hi, Mark.
Hey.
I have the feeling that you did this session personally just for me because I had today a topic which absorbed pretty much of my system. There was an announcement that I'm getting a new manager, and about this situation, I was pretty afraid because it is a colleague which which I don't have the highest of opinion of, and I had this topic. Uh, I felt this topic already some months ago, and I was honestly pretty afraid of it. And my question was exactly, am I attracting through my fear exactly this situation? And you entered it in this session. So thank you.
Great, great. Yeah, thanks for sharing that example. It can be very subtle. So what this session was doing was helping your system to be more awake and aware to even the more subtle ways that we can draw what we fear most, because we're still giving a reality to that fear. So yeah, this will definitely help you to let go of doing that ever again. Thanks, Daniel. Yeah, Theos, I think you were next.
Hello.
Hey there.
Hi. Thank you again for the beautiful transmission that you brought to
You're
us.
welcome.
Something that from the transmission, what came through was sometimes we're looking for something to happen in order for us to have the experience or to allow ourselves to have the experience. And then in the transmission, it was mentioned that God realized is the state where you can have the experience without having the the outcomes from the external reality telling you that now you're allowed to having the experience. Is that clear? Is that what God realized consciousness is in some way?
Um, Approximately.
Perfect.
Yeah, when you reach the state of just purely loving what is, moment to moment, whatever's arising, whatever's happening, you see no difference between that and anything else happening. You essentially are God realized. Now, that's a simplification. There's all these other levels of God realization, but that is true at its core. And so, and like some people might get it more easily if you use a more mundane example. Like I was car free for a year and a half and just using my e-bike to get around. And then I decided it was time to have a car again. So the guides kept like saying, you already have a car. It's just not parked outside yet. And I started to feel that. I mean, it was like I started to act as someone who owned a car again. It was just like a knowing it was my present experience. I already had a brand new car. It was the color I wanted, the model I wanted, et cetera, et cetera. And, you know, I could close my eyes and easily imagine it out front. But when I walked out front, it still wasn't there yet, but it was like, that didn't matter. It wasn't my now reality. And I remember when I tried a couple different dealers and just, it was horrible. It was like, how do these car dealers even operate and get any business whatsoever? They were just, it was crazy. And then the guide said, no, we gave you those experiences because you need to help clear this for the collective. What buying a car is today is crazy in many, many different ways. Doesn't need to be that absurd. And so for 2 weeks, they just had me clearing that and sending light to all these different car dealerships and you know, just clearing up the energy of those kind of transactions. Anyhow, it was like 2 days from the end of the month. And this one car dealer calls me, this one salesman from this particular car dealer. He was a brand new salesman. They had their end of the month quotas, and he was going to do whatever it took to get me to buy the car at the price I wanted, in the way I wanted. And like he set it all up. I had the money to pay cash, but he said it'll be quicker and easier if you allow us to give you a no down payment loan, and then you can pay it off immediately after, but you'll get the car immediately. You won't have to wait 3 days to get a check in the, that a cashier's check that they could accept. And I was like, well, I have 2 sessions today. I don't have much time to get over there. I'd have to get an Uber to get to your dealership. He said, not a problem. I'll drive the car to your place. So he drove it over, pulled in to just where I was imagining it. And I came out the door and was like, oh, there it is. And he said, and your test drive can be the drive back to the dealership where you'll sign all the papers. So it just like, it happened like that. When it was time, it was time. But it could only happen like that because I already was experiencing it was my car and it should just come into my life easily. And I got back in time for my 6 o'clock session. So it was like, it all just fit. And he got his sale before the end of the month. He got boosted in front of his manager, and so it was a win-win-win, which is how it should always be. Anyhow, so yeah, the more you can just be in love with the present moment, loving what is, and feeling the energy of whatever it is that you're wanting as if it's here now. Because that's always accessible. The forms will come and go, but that quality of whatever it is you want. And ultimately, it's happiness. Why did I want a car? Because I thought in some way it would allow me to be happier or of more service or whatever it is. But all of those, why do you want to be of more service? Because I want to be happy. It always comes back to happiness. No matter what it is that we want, if you keep asking, well, why do you want that? And why do you want that? It eventually always comes back to happiness. And what's God realization? Where you're happy all the time. You're just happy no matter what. No matter what. Doesn't matter. Good question.
Yeah, that initiated a second branch of that question. What is then
Okay.
why are we attracted to experiences then? Because the only thing between where we are now and happiness state is an internal choice. So which part is the part that wants to experience the new Corolla, whatever, the new car, or the trip to there, or the different clothing in order to be happy?
Well, ultimately, it's the ego that was trained to believe happiness is in the future. Happiness comes from getting things. Happiness comes from having this experience. So it's our conditioning from day one. So essentially, it's our human side. Our infinite divine being is happy. And it's even happy with every experience, even the deepest suffering we undergo as humans. It's completely enjoying it. It's just the wildest ride. It's a miracle that we're here having these limited experiences of pain and joy. It's just an utter bliss over this whole trip. But our human, most of the time we're not there. We're not fully experiencing that bliss moment to moment. And that's what this whole path is about. While being here in a human experience, opening more and more, allowing more and more of that infinite divine being to descend into this human experience, and where we can be aware moment to moment, no matter what's happening, no matter what's playing out in our human experience, we're having the ride of our life. We're loving every second. It doesn't matter. If I die, if I get sick, if I find the lover of my dreams, doesn't matter. We're happy right now, no matter what. That's can be called God realization.
Thank you.
Sure. Thank you. Mandy, it looks like.
Hi. I I think I've mentioned him before. My neighbour's son, he's 4 and non-verbal. He was crying so much yesterday. I had to go over and help the mum because she was crying. She said, "Please help me. I don't know what to do with him." I put on because I know he was born very small, and his birth was traumatic. And so I put on your video with the mother-child bond, one of those ones. And you know what? He didn't cry at all. And I was just like, it was on really low volume. He stopped crying, he started playing around me and things. But my question was, so him not even listening to it, because he could just hear mumbling.
Sure.
Would it have helped him clear whatever there was?
Oh, sure, absolutely. I mean, the transmission is the transmission. And, with children or, especially special needs children, it generally takes an adult to initiate the intentionality. So you putting on the transmission. But that then affects anybody in that environment. And, you know, if it's an autistic child, they often are like really open and tuned in on certain frequencies. And then they have to shut down to try to counterbalance. So you put on a transmission like that, and he has access to that. Um, yeah, most likely he was just absorbing it and like, oh, finally, yeah, give me more of this. This is what I need, you know. Yeah, they can be just extremely responsive to it because, like I said, there are certain channels that most autistic kids are just way open, that are, you know, higher vibrational channels, and they don't know how to like counterbalance it yet with that also can make them extremely oversensitive to elements of their environment. So they have to shut off certain things. But when that high vibration is there, they often will just absorb it like you described.
Yeah. Oh, I stayed with them for an hour and a half, no screaming fits. And as I was leaving, he smiled and kissed me, and then he ran off again.
Oh,
I
wow.
was like, I
Great,
hope this
great
is working.
confirmation. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I was like, I hope it's worked, but I'll check in with Mark anyway.
Sure, sure. Yeah, it's the same with animals. The animals in your environment will also tend to just be settled down and made a bit more quiet. It's healing them as well. And you know, animals have an infinite divine being as well. And they can't do good or bad karma. You know, animals are here to essentially work off karma and have certain experiences that being in that form allows them to have. But they can't do good or bad. They can't make choices. They're basically just running off of conditioning. But healing energy can lift that soul, lift that infinite divine being experience of being that animal. So the animals can also benefit greatly as well.
And the second thing, I was very randomly, I wanted to eat somewhere. The kitchen was closed. I went to another place. Their kitchen was closed. I was like, this is odd. I was so hungry. I ended up in a pub, a British pub. And then I thought, I would never come here. Everyone's drinking alcohol around me. And I was like, I'm divinely guided to be here. And I was like, okay, so I'm going to start the transmit. I'm going to say, love like to everybody here. And, I'm supposed to be here for a specific reason, I guess. These people would never be near a transmission otherwise. Yeah. And
Exactly. Yeah, that's perfect. The other day in another group, I was mentioning that there was a time in my life that I did a lot of ghost busting, where I would be led to environments like that because I could see the spirits that were trying, you know, that were like trying to invade the ones getting drunk, essentially, because your boundaries get loose and open, and then spirits who haven't made the full transition into the light will try to get a taste of the alcohol or get a whiff of the smoke. You know, they get attached. And I would go into those environments and bring light and love and just help free those souls. And that would also unburden the person who was there drinking. They wouldn't feel as much desire to keep drinking. A lot of the desire was coming from the ghost that was, you know, trying to inhabit their, yeah. So yeah, I mean, that's perfect. That kind of thing, that's what we're meant to do as light workers. We're meant to bring this light, love, and truth into whatever environment we're led to, or just move through in the course of our life. Yeah,
yeah, I didn't know
perfect.
what I was doing. I was like, just I'm just thinking about the meditation. I put one on and I was like, okay, let's keep this going. And as I was leaving, someone on the fruit machine, he just started talking to me and he shook my hand as I left. I was like, okay.
Perfect. Yeah, that's angels work right there. That's the angels were there with you, and all it takes is the intention. Like you said, it's just imagining that you're bringing light to this group of people. Yeah, perfect. Excellent.
Thank you for teaching us this, because I would never do it otherwise, and I would never have gone into the pub.
Well, generally that might be a good idea, but if you're drawn there, it's also best to not fear it. In the moment, if that's where you're being led, then go and enjoy it as much as you're able.
Yeah, yeah. No, thank you so
Perfect.
much, Mark.
Sure. Thank you. Anyone else? Oh, thank you.
Are you waving with that lovely arm of yours? How is the arm? We can't hear you. Make it
There you
more.
go.
One day I will be good at Zoom. Yeah, so since my arm made it into the transmission, I felt like I should say so.
Yes, when I said broken arm, that was specifically for you.
Yeah, thank you for that. No, that was really beautiful. I really appreciated that. But and then what Mandy said about the neighbor with the nonverbal kid, I thought, oh, maybe I can sneak a transmission in my classroom and just have it on silent because I have this blind autistic kid I've taught for 4 years. He's 18. He's terrified of clapping, and he's really connected to me. Like we are together for some kind of reason. And yeah, I think I'm going to try that. He doesn't need to know. Nobody needs to know it's on.
No, it's divine love consciousness. It can't hurt
Yeah.
anyone ever. So yeah, just bring that vibration in there. I mean, you're already doing it just because you're living it and you're bringing that intention with you. But yes, having even a hidden video playing somewhere in that classroom, that will amp it up even more, for sure.
Yeah. And then the other thing I wanted to say was, well, in the last few days, I've had multiple trips to doctors and hospitals, and wow, the eye contact I'm getting from people that I don't expect to get this eye contact. It feels like the same thing that Mandy was saying, like I am here for that person. Today it was a guy in a jail suit, like literally giant stripes and ankles bound together. And we had this beautiful moment of eye contact with each other. It's like I was thinking, when did that guy last get that? It was beautiful. And then other just people there, I just found people looking at me, and that's not normally, my life. I mean, I think people usually ignore me. So anyway, I felt like I was.
Kim. Shine the light.
I think I'm shining.
Yes, you are. Brilliant.
Exactly. That's it. That's, we're all meant to be these radiant lighthouses. And as we open more and more, we become that. We're sharing it constantly. And yeah, it can draw stares. People don't quite know why they're attracted to you or looking at you. And that's fine. They don't need to know it consciously. It's still having its effect.
Yeah. All right. I'll try to mute myself.
I just wanted to say a big thank you. So since last week, Mark, where we've really anchored the loving bliss of being, today, before the transmission even started, and same when doing other meditations, it seems to within seconds of it to really anchor into loving bliss of being and just expand into such a space that I think that's possibly that same space that's make people make that eye contact and people say or feel comfortable around your space and safe and it's just so beautiful. So I'm, yeah, extremely appreciative. And just on a little note, today I had a client and we've worked pretty much on the same subject. So this must be today's energy all in one because it's just, yeah, kind of repeated. And as I was working with her, I thought, wow, this is really lovely. I'd love to be in a transmission getting this. And then and then it came as a blessing tonight. So
Perfect.
yeah, thank you. Perfect. Utterly perfect. Yeah. Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah, great synchronicities.
Totally. Thank you.
Sure, sure. Okay, I think this is it. Thank you all for joining. This has been wonderful again. It's a great service we're all doing. Blessings.